Off Script with Super E recommends listener discretion as these real but sometimes uncensored stories can be filled with mature content.
Welcome back to Off Script with Super E. This is your host, A-Train. We're recording on a Independence 4th of July weekend, and we just finished a story that Super E told us about an Amazon prostitute who pulled out a knife and tried to kill him. And we have another story. Is this one a little more lighthearted? Or
it is a little bit more lighthearted, but it's kind of the same theme of when making the arrest. If the person decided they didn't want to go to jail, it would have been extremely hard to place handcuffs on them.
Okay. Well, hey, launch into it. Let's hear it.
All right. So we were getting complaints about the online prostitution activity that was occurring in the town that we worked, and they would go to the hotels in the area, and this hotel that they were concerned about or whatever it was extremely low rent, shady. All the motel room doors had police footprints on them from kicking the doors on previous search warrants. Okay. But so I wasn't very good at the computer back then. I'm still not. But other people would look these up and go, okay, this person right here, complaints on this person prostituting online. They set up an appointment they got a number, told me to set up an appointment with this woman. So I call her up, and she says, yeah, I'll meet you at 2:00. We're going to go to this motel, which meant the sleazy,
the shady motel.
The extra shady rest motel.
It isn't the same hotel when John was running around naked, is it? No,
that was a high class.
Oh,
that was a higher class.
Okay.
This was, even the mice and the rats, they wore sunglasses so nobody could recognize them. They were somber. But so she said to get there at 2:00.
Okay.
And so I got there about 1:50.
All right.
And I had my backup, my two guys backup. We'll call one of them Rich, and the other one, let's see, we'll let him Joe.
Okay.
So they're going to be my backup.
All right.
And I'm going to go into this motel room, and if I get an arrest, I was just going to call them on the phone, and they would come up, and we'd basically just write them a summons and then send the person on their way. Because that's what I think we had to do at the time. We were now writing in summonses for these misdemeanors.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting in front of the motel where you would check in. So I get a call from my girl. She says, she goes, I'm pulling up right now. I'll be up in the room by 2:00. So when you get here, I'll be here. So as soon as I get that call, I see a car, a black Lincoln. It's a two-door Lincoln, like I don't know what they call them, a Mark 6 or something. Okay. It's like about a 1994 Lincoln.
All right.
Pull up, and as I'm talking to the person, I can see the prostitute getting out of the car and talking on the phone, not knowing that I'm just sitting the car next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that car was being driven by another woman, and another woman was in the back seat. So there was actually three people in the car, and I see my girl get out and start walking up to go check in. Okay. I said, yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes. But as I get a good view of my girl, I see, well, she wasn't a girl that I thought she was going to be.
Okay.
She was wearing an extremely tight green dress.
Okay.
I mean, tight.
Yeah.
And she looked exactly like Ray Lewis after he just got done doing a bunch of squats and bench presses.
Okay. Okay.
About 5'10", 5'11", 220 pounds with no fat at all except for the gigantic bulge between the legs.
From in the tight dress.
In the extremely tight mini skirt dress.
So you were talking about Ray Lewis, the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes. It was. I'm not talking about him as the person, but this person looked exactly like him. So
yes,
this was not a female. This was a male.
Okay, right.
And I'm like, holy shit. I get on the phone and I tell my backup, Rich and Joe, I said, hey, you guys be as close as you can in your cars in the parking lot, because if this doesn't go right, you could see me being launched out of the window on the foot of a heavily muscular prostitute in a tight green dress.
In the tight green dress.
Yeah, it was like a mini skirt / tank top connect thing.
Okay. Sounds lovely.
But it made her very highly identifiable.
Right.
So I see that she gets back into Lincoln. They drive around. So I wait a few minutes and I go in and I knock on the door, and Ray Lewis lookalike opens the door, and I'm like, holy shit. and the wig wasn't even that good. It was a little askew, like she hurriedly put it on. Kind
of sideways.
Yeah, it was kind of a Diana Ross look from 1963. Or the Laura Petrie, where it had the sharp, I can't remember the name of it.
Where it curled up?
Yeah, curled up. And it looked like it had tons of hairspray on it. So I was like, oh my God.
I she at least shave for you? Did she have stubble or anything?
I don't think there's any stubble, just smooth.
Okay.
And I walk in, I'm like, hey, what's up? And I immediately, I'm like, oh my God, this dude must spend all day at the gym guzzling steroids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I went along. I said, excuse me. I was like, excuse me, ma'am. I said, how many hours do you spend in the gym every day? And this is what everybody who works out hates to hear. Oh, I never touch a weight. It makes you want to tear up your gym membership card. What's the point?
Yeah, like Herschel Walker. Never lifted a weight in his life.
Never lifted a weight. And like I said, this guy in the green dress, Ray Lewis, Herschel Walker, I mean.
All natural.
All natural. And I was thinking to myself, if I get enough for an arrest, I'm going to have to be on my toes and think quick.
Yeah.
Because if this person doesn't want to go to jail, and 99.9% of them don't want to go to jail. And
who does?
Yeah. And if he resists, the fight's going to be on.
Yeah.
And for me to win this fight, I would have to knock this person out. I mean, it would be a brawl.
Right.
And if that would not, and where everybody thinks the police are horrible people and we just want to beat people up, which is not true.
Nope.
That's what this would look like.
Yeah.
And if I get the living shit kicked out of me by a dude in a bright green dress, again, that could be fodder for my fellow coworkers in the office.
Yes.
So you got to think to yourself, how am I going to do this? Just right, where everybody comes out okay and not injured.
Yes.
So I'm just going along with the investigation, and the next thing I know, this person tells me, I will give you head for I don't know how much money, and I'm like, well, I've got enough for arrest.
Yeah.
He's ready to go because he's slipping off the green dress as we speak. And I thought, I said, I got some bad news for you. And he says, what? I said, I'm the police. You're under arrest for prostitution, but we're just going to write you a summons. So it really ain't that big of a deal.
Right. Let's stay calm.
Yeah. Let's stay calm. Let's not start doing the John L. Sullivan, boxing. And, so he was like, oh no, I'm not getting a ticket. I'm not, no. And starts putting the dress back on. I said, listen, there's two guys waiting outside. If you go out that door, it's going to go from a summons to jail. And you're not going to like running into these two guys outside, so I start pumping them up.
Well, yeah.
These are some badass sons of bitches. You don't want to fight with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care, as he is adjusting his bra and putting his pumps back on. He goes, I'm not going to jail. Okay. And so I said, well, don't open that door because they're going to be waiting on you. So I just grab my phone and I call him up and I go, hey, Rich, where are you guys at? She's coming right out. Grab her. And this is as a person's walking out.
Yeah.
Because I seriously thought they'd be waiting outside.
Uh-huh.
Like we're on the second floor. I thought they would be on these steps.
Yes.
And so as a person, and the person opens the door and I look outside, there's no, I go, where are you at? They go, oh, we parked across the street. We want to get too close and there's traffic. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And as soon as the green dress prostitute heard that, he just busted out that door.
Okay.
Like he was shot out of a cannon. I couldn't even grab him. He was so fast.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I would want that guy leading the sweep for me if I was a running back. He hops out in them pumps, takes like 5 steps at a time, screams. Here comes that black Lincoln that he pulled up in.
Yeah.
Comes hauling ass up like they just committed a bank heist. He hits he takes about the other 10 feet and just jumps off the stairwell onto the ground.
Okay.
Gets into the passenger seat. And then I see the Lincoln go about 20 yards and then slam on the brakes. The driver's bails out. The passenger bails out. So now I've got what I can tell are now 2 other female impersonators.
Okay.
Are now standing there. And as he was running into the car, I'm yelling out the window, they're going to get you. You might as well stop. It's just going to be a summons. I'm trying to make sure that there's no fighting and punching and injuries.
Right.
Or possible shooting. You don't want anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you never know, this person could pull out a knife, or a person with their bare hands can kill you, and you don't want to have to pull out your gun to save your life on a person that's not armed.
Right. Exactly.
So it's a misdemeanor.
Even though this guy sounds like if he got his hands on you, you would be at some risk.
Yeah, if he got his hands around your throat, you would be in seriously trouble.
Right. Imagine if he got his hands around something else. He'd really be in trouble.
Yeah, oh yeah. He had probably took it with him in one yank. But so he bails out. He jumps into this Lincoln, boots his passengers out.
Yeah.
He thinks that the police are hot on his tail.
Okay.
They're actually across the street, probably finishing up their Hot Pockets, stuck in traffic. And he takes off in that Lincoln and goes northbound. I mean, I could hear the tires squealing all the way down to the intersection at the light.
Okay.
And it's like a half mile. And then I could hear him. He turned east. I could hear him revving the engine. I mean, he must have been going over 100 miles an hour.
He wanted to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly. So I call up my buddy, my old partner, Big Steve, and because I knew he worked in that area, his uniform, I said, hey, man, you wouldn't believe what happened. This dude built like Ray Lewis in a green dress bolted on me from this cheap motel and is dry. And he goes, is it a black Lincoln? I go, yeah. He goes, we're getting all kinds of reports of a black Lincoln 2-door driving like a lunatic over 100 miles an hour.
Oh.
So this dude thinks he's being chased.
Right.
Nobody's near him. They're over there in the parking lot dabbing their mouth with a napkin from the Hot Pockets. And so he's going 100 miles an hour going eastbound. Now he tries to make a quick turn to go northbound, loses control, and his black Lincoln 2-door Dukes of Hazzard launches into the middle of a pond.
Oh, no.
That was on the property of this, like a business district. That was like a building that was shaped like a horseshoe, I believe. And so
he's in the pond.
He is in the pond. His car's nosedive in it. But then he is gone.
Okay.
So then, like I said, this was like 2 miles away. We all get over there. My 2 backup, who I was reprimanding.
Yes.
But we drive over there real quick, and I met Big Steve in his uniform car, and we're getting a record the wrecker's coming and all this.
Yeah.
And
To get the car out of the pond.
To get the car out of the pond, the wrecker was like real close.
Okay.
So as the wrecker immediately was hooking this thing up and pulling it out, and I'm like, I found the wallet. There was a wallet in there. The guy left his wallet with his driver's license ID and all his other information in the wallet in the front seat.
Oh no!
Yeah, I said, this is the dude right here. And so as we're doing this, and of course we're all laughing about it. We're all laughing. Hey, this guy, he was big and strong and wearing a green dress and was going to kick your ass. I know. I can't deny it. And all of a sudden, this businessman comes walking up on the scene. We have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
And he looks at us. He goes, "You guys all." He looks at me and the other guys are undercover. He goes, "You guys police officers too?" And I said, "Yes, we're vice officers." He goes, "Would this black link in this pond have anything to do with a very muscular guy in makeup and a wig that is askew, running naked through our business holding a green dress?"
Running naked, now holding the green dress.
Yeah, because in his mind, he thought this green dress is going to everybody will be able to identify me because of my green dress. He didn't think about everybody be able to identify me because of my naked body.
Yeah, with the wig. Still has a wig on. Yeah.
And makeup. Now it's probably the mascara's run from his little dip in the pond. And this businessman goes, "We were having a meeting. And all of a sudden, this very muscular-looking guy with makeup on and a wig, stark naked, bursts through the door, runs through the business, and runs out the door and is now gone." Oh my God. And now we're even laughing even harder. We're like, what were people thinking seeing this guy sprinting down there carrying it? Apparently that green dress must have cost him some cash because he wasn't getting rid of it. Most people were just throwing it on the ground.
No. That's his favorite dress.
Yeah, but he was carrying it. And so, we get the car out, and I do my report, and I get a warrant for him, and everybody's laughing and joking about it. Oh, we all had a good laugh. But I was thinking to myself, this could have went very bad if I was bound and determined to try to put the handcuffs on him.
Yeah, especially since your backup was across the street eating or taking a nap or whatever the hell they were doing.
Yeah, believe me, I made quite the sport of them for that.
You'd never do that, would you? You'd never go to Arby's, get your food.
Waiting for my roast beef with horsey sauce.
Yes.
While my other partner was running naked.
Yeah.
But anyways, I do a report. I get a warrant for the person, and they turned themselves, once they knew they had a warrant, they turned themselves in and took immediate plea agreement. So I was never able to see this guy again because I would have said to him, man, that was probably one of the funniest moments I had. But like I said, I could joke about it with him then, but see, here's something the public does not understand. If this guy did not want to go to jail, no matter how many episodes of TJ Hooker that I watch, would I be able to use some sort of fancy hand control movement where he would go, "Oh, you got me, I'm going to just put the cuffs on"? It would take, for this guy, 5 or 6 officers to get him on the ground.
We've been there. Where there are just certain people, if they don't want to go to jail, it's going to take a whole bunch of cops to get cuffs on them. And I always, on TV shows, how once they, like if they're running, they'll tackle them, and then they're like on top of them. The criminal always gives up.
Right, exactly.
That it don't happen that way, does it?
It never happens that way. Because they've got that adrenaline going. Yeah. And, they're not going to stop until they get away. Exactly. And they don't care what they got to do to get away.
Right. Right. So let me ask you this: when you opened the door and saw Ray standing there in his green dress, I mean, what was going through your mind? Were you?
I was like, holy shit! This dude could kick everybody's ass that I know. That's what you're going, because when you're a policeman, and especially if you're undercover, you immediately make a risk assessment, and it's all from gut and previous experience. Right. And I knew right then that this guy was going to be an issue. Yeah. And I had to use my best mental tactics and bluffing and, to telling, hey, there's police outside. You're going to go to jail. You can just get a summons. I tried to lay it out there so he would cooperate. So I would not have to injure him, because if I was to successfully get cuffs on him, I would have to have beat him to a pulp.
Right. Or he might have beat you to a pulp.
Yes. I mean, yes, that's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Just because the guy wears a dress doesn't mean they can't fight.
Yeah.
Especially when they want to go to jail and they got all that adrenaline. This dude could have, like I said, if 5 or 6 of us cops would have been there, we would have destroyed that motel room. It would have spilled out over the railing onto the pavement from the second floor up.
Well,
it's not. It's really not worth it.
Thank goodness it didn't end up in that.
No.
Since you're, maybe it's a good thing your partners were over eating and drinking root beer or whatever the heck they were doing.
Yeah. Bless their hearts.
Okay. You got any ideas on titles for this episode? Anything?
Let me think.
Ray Lewis in a green dress.
I don't think Ray Lewis would like that. I don't want Ray Lewis knocking on my door and me opening it up and going, "Oh, this is Ray Lewis, not in a green dress, and he looks like he's mad."
That's valid. That's valid. Mm-hmm. All right.
See. We'll think of something.
Think about it, and we'll come up with a good one.
All right.
Well, that's a good tale there, Super E. That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna close this out. This has been a good episode. Anything else, Super E?
That's it. Have a good 4th.
All right, everybody have a good 4th of July. We'll see you soon. Bye.